It was a peaceful day on Earth, the kind where everything seemed to be in balance. The sun shone brightly over the planet's cities, and the hum of everyday life filled the air. But suddenly, without any warning, the peaceful atmosphere shattered. Every communication channel, satellite feeds, radio transmissions, even the internet, went dead. Silence. Nothing but static. For moments, the world was left in a state of confusion. People looked at their screens, bewildered, as the whole planet seemed to hold its breath. Governments and military officials scrambled to understand what was happening, but they couldn't make sense of it. Then, just as quickly as it had gone silent, a single, powerful signal broke through the static. It was an encrypted message, a message that no one had ever expected. The message was clear, and terrifying. Humanity, you are hereby commanded to surrender your planet and its resources. Your time on Earth is limited. We, the Galactic Empire, have claimed this territory as our own. You have 48 hours to submit to our rule, or we will wipe your world from existence. This is your only warning. The words sent a chill through the heart of every person on Earth. The Galactic Empire was real. A force so powerful, so advanced, that it had decided to claim Earth as part of its vast, intergalactic empire. And humanity, in all its supposed technological advancement, was nothing more than an insignificant speck in the Empire's eyes. The message mocked humanity's primitive nature, its wars, its divisions, and its lack of true unity. The Empire believed it had the power to take Earth without question. To them, Earth was just another planet waiting to be conquered. The message ended with an eerie silence. And then, chaos. Panic spread across the globe as governments began to respond. The first thought was one of disbelief. How could this be real? Who would dare to challenge Earth? But it wasn't long before the military recognized the truth. The threat was real. The Galactic Empire had sent its warning, and now, Earth had little time to prepare for the worst. Among the many faces in the frantic world of Earth's military, one stood out. Captain Aidan Cole was a young, brilliant military strategist who had risen quickly through the ranks of Earth's armed forces. He had been a part of the team that developed Earth's new fleet of warships, vessels designed to take on any alien threats. The fleet had been constructed in secret, a last-ditch effort to ensure Earth's survival if ever faced with a threat too powerful to handle. Now, it seemed, that time had arrived. Aidan was calm in the face of chaos, but beneath his disciplined exterior was a man haunted by loss. A few years ago, during an alien conflict that had nearly destroyed Earth, he had lost everything: his family, his home, his sense of peace. The alien invaders had come without warning, attacking Earth's population with overwhelming force. His family was among the countless innocent lives that had been taken. Since then, Aidan had vowed to never let humanity fall again, no matter the cost. But this time, the odds were far worse. The Galactic Empire's technology far outclassed anything Earth had. Their warships were sleek, nearly invisible, and armed with weapons powerful enough to erase entire cities in an instant. The Empire's fleet was rumored to be able to obliterate planets with a single strike. And yet, despite all of this, Aidan was determined to fight. He had no choice. If Earth were to survive, it would need to use every ounce of humanity's will and ingenuity. As the world's leaders convened, the sense of urgency became unbearable. Earth had never faced an enemy like this. Every alien race that had ever attacked Earth before had underestimated humanity, thinking it weak or primitive. Time and again, humans had surprised them with their resilience, intelligence, and tenacity. But this was different. The Galactic Empire was not like the invaders that had come before. Their ships were a marvel of advanced technology, able to turn invisible, move faster than anything Earth had ever seen, and strike with deadly precision. They controlled vast swathes of the galaxy, and now, they wanted Earth. In the face of such an overwhelming force, Earth's military realized just how vulnerable they truly were. The most advanced technology Earth had could barely scratch the surface of the Empire's defenses. Aiden stood at the head of the military war room, looking over the plans for Earth's response. His mind raced, trying to find a way to fight back. "We need more time," he muttered to himself. The clock was ticking. Humanity had just 48 hours to make a decision, to surrender or to fight. Aiden knew that if they surrendered, the Empire would crush Earth without hesitation. There would be no mercy. But if they fought back, they would face certain destruction without overwhelming force to back them up. It wasn't just the ships that worried Aiden. It was the Empire's soldiers, superior beings, each one far stronger and smarter than any human. They were part organic, part machine, designed to fight and win. How could humans, with their limited resources and technology, stand against such a force? Despite the odds, Aiden refused to give up. He had seen humanity rise from worse situations before. He would find a way to turn the tables. He had to. The fate of the planet depended on it. The day the Galactic Empire arrived in Earth's orbit would forever be etched into the minds of every living human. At first, it was just a dot in the sky, a faint shadow, barely visible to the naked eye. But within hours, it became clear. Alien ships began to materialize, one after another, surrounding the planet. They moved with eerie silence, their massive forms dwarfing Earth's fledgling warships. The ships appeared to be made of a strange, dark material that seemed to absorb light. Some were as large as entire cities, while others were sleek, stealthy vessels capable of slipping past Earth's radar undetected. Each ship had glowing symbols and intricate designs, proof of the Empire's vast, otherworldly power. The ships didn't announce their presence with blasts or thunderous sound. They simply appeared, as though they had always been there, watching, waiting. Aiden stood on the observation deck of Earth's flagship, staring up at the massive fleet that had appeared above the planet. His heart pounded in his chest as he realized that Earth's time had run out. The Empire had arrived, and they weren't here for peace. A series of ominous signals came through Earth's communication channels. An attack was imminent. The Empire's ships began to deploy drones, robots, and surveillance devices that swarmed Earth's satellites, disabling them one by one. Aiden's team worked frantically to counter the attack, but it was clear, the Galactic Empire had already established their dominance over Earth's communication systems. With every passing second, the fear of annihilation grew stronger. Earth had never faced a threat of this magnitude before. Could humanity survive against such an overwhelming enemy? Could Aiden and his team find a way to fight back before it was too late? The massive ships continued to hover in orbit, their alien technology visible in the stark light of space. Earth's military was outmatched. Would the planet stand a chance? Could Earth's greatest warriors and brightest minds, led by Aiden, overcome a force so vast and powerful? The seconds ticked by, the clock counting down to humanity's final hour. The fate of Earth lay in the hands of its defenders, men and women who had never faced an enemy like this before. Aiden's mind raced, knowing that this was just the beginning. The battle for Earth's survival had only just begun, and everything humanity had fought for was at risk of being wiped out in a single stroke. The tension in the air was thick as the first wave of the Galactic Empire's warships descended upon Earth. They arrived in complete silence, their massive forms slowly taking up position in the orbit above Earth. Each ship was an imposing sight, sleek, angular, and covered in dark, reflective armor. These vessels, like creatures of nightmares, seemed to absorb the light from the stars as if they were born from the depths of space itself. The sheer size of the fleet was enough to overwhelm even the bravest of warriors. The Empire's warships were equipped with technology so advanced, it made Earth's best efforts look like children's toys in comparison. Their weapons were capable of unleashing devastating force, laser beams that could incinerate entire cities, energy pulses that could obliterate any defensive shield, and bombs that could tear apart the fabric of space itself. Their ship designs were sophisticated and intimidating, each one a testament to the Empire's superiority. Earth's military, despite its advancements, seemed no match for this overwhelming force. A single message came through to Earth's communications system. It was brief and cold. Surrender, or face total destruction. The Empire had made its intentions clear. They were not here for diplomacy, for talks, or for compromise. They had come to take Earth, and humanity's survival was at stake. The countdown was ticking. Earth had only hours to make a decision. Despite the fear that gripped the hearts of many, Earth's military forces did not back down. Aiden stood at the helm of Earth's newly developed war fleet, a ship designed specifically for a situation like this. With technology that included advanced cloaking devices, energy shields, and laser cannons, the warships were Earth's last hope. But even with this technology, Aiden knew that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to stand against the might of the Galactic Empire. The battle began with a deafening roar. The first wave of Empire ships unleashed hell upon Earth's forces, firing massive laser beams that tore through space with terrifying precision. Earth's warships, though armed with cutting-edge weapons and cloaking technology, were outmatched in almost every way. The Galactic Empire's weapons were too powerful, and their ships too advanced. Earth's fleet had been designed to combat alien threats, but nothing could prepare them for the Empire's overwhelming firepower. Aiden watched from the command center of Earth's flagship as the first wave of attacks began. His crew scrambled to evade the incoming lasers, desperately trying to dodge the enemy fire. Ships dipped and swerved, engaging their cloaking devices to make themselves harder to target. But the Empire's technology was so advanced that it could see through the cloaks, rendering the defense useless. The battle was a chaotic dance of laser fire, ships weaving through the debris of exploding enemy vessels, and the ever-present threat of annihilation. Earth's warships tried to retaliate, firing energy weapons that lit up the blackness of space like flashes of lightning. But even as they fired, it was clear they were being pushed back. With every passing minute, Earth's forces were driven further and further from the battlefield. The Empire's sheer firepower was overwhelming, and Earth's soldiers struggled to keep up. The sleek warships from the Galactic Empire cut through space like predators stalking their prey, relentlessly picking off Earth's fleet one by one. Aiden gritted his teeth, trying to remain calm under pressure. He was well aware of the gravity of the situation. The odds were stacked against them, and the sheer firepower of the Galactic Empire was devastating. But Aiden knew that giving up was never an option. Humans had always been the underdogs in the galaxy, fighting to survive, against impossible odds, and this time would be no different. As the battle raged on, the atmosphere in the command center grew increasingly tense. The sounds of alarms filled the air, and the flashing red lights cast an eerie glow over the faces of Earth's soldiers. They were holding their ground, but for how long? Suddenly, the unthinkable happened. Earth's forces were hit hard by an Empire bombardment, and Aiden's second-in-command, Bonner, was caught in the blast. The room fell silent as the communications feed went dead. Aiden's heart sank as he realized Bonner had not survived. The man who had been by his side in every battle, the one who had always been the calm in the storm, was now gone. Bonner's death was a devastating blow to Earth's morale. But even in the face of such tragedy, Bonner's last words stayed with Aiden. Through the pain and the loss, Bonner had said, "Remember, Aiden, humanity's greatest strength is not our weapons, but our will to survive. Never forget that." Those words echoed in Aiden's mind, stirring something deep within him. Humanity had survived countless challenges before, against hostile aliens, against impossible odds, and they would survive again. It was not the advanced technology that made them strong. It was their determination, their refusal to give up, and their unyielding will to fight for what was theirs. Bonner's sacrifice, his bravery, would not be in vain. Aiden knew that, no matter the cost, he had to lead his men and women into battle. The fight for Earth had only just begun, and it was a fight that humanity could not afford to lose. The battle scenes in space were intense and heart-pounding, each moment filled with the threat of destruction. Close-up shots of Earth's warships as they dodged incoming laser fire were intercut with wide-angle views of massive explosions that sent debris flying in all directions. The sleek designs of the Galactic Empire's ships contrasted sharply with the rugged, utilitarian look of Earth's warships. It was clear that the Empire had the technological advantage, but Earth's forces fought with all their might, unwilling to give up. As one of Earth's ships was hit, the camera zoomed in on the explosion, showing the intense heat and power of the blast as it tore through the ship's hull. The crew inside scrambled to evacuate, but it was too late. The ship shattered into pieces, and the debris scattered in the void of space. At the same time, the cloaking devices of Earth's warships flickered in and out, desperately trying to make the ships invisible to the Empire's sensors. The cloaks worked for a moment, but the Empire's ships could see through them. The tension was palpable as the warships weaved through blasts and explosions, attempting to retaliate with energy weapons that lit up the sky like streaks of lightning. The sound of laser fire, the screech of metal against metal, and the crackle of energy blasts filled the air. In the midst of the chaos, Aiden's face was resolute. He knew that every second counted. He could feel Bonner's presence in his heart, pushing him to fight harder, to give everything for humanity's survival. There was no turning back now. The sight of the Empire's overwhelming firepower, combined with the desperate bravery of Earth's forces, created a visual spectacle that was as beautiful as it was terrifying. The battle in space was a dance of destruction, a test of willpower and technology. The very future of Earth was at stake, and the stakes couldn't have been higher. The battle was not going in Earth's favor. With each passing minute, the Galactic Empire's ships pushed Earth's fleet further back, their firepower overwhelming. Aiden stood at the command center of Earth's flagship, his eyes glued to the massive screens in front of him. He watched helplessly as more and more of Earth's warships were destroyed, their flames lighting up the darkness of space. But then, a spark of an idea flickered in Aiden's mind, a desperate gamble that might turn the tide of the battle. Earth's warships, despite their advanced technology, were no match for the sheer force of the Empire's weaponry. However, Earth had something that the Empire didn't expect: cloaking technology. Aiden quickly issued the order. Activate cloaking systems, all ships. We're going dark. For a moment, there was silence. Then, with a flash of light, Earth's warships disappeared from view. The cloaking technology worked flawlessly, rendering Earth's fleet invisible to the Empire's sensors. Aiden's heart raced. This was their chance. The Empire had no idea where their ships were, and now, Earth could strike back. The moment of surprise was brief, but it was enough. Aiden's team sprang into action. Earth's warships were cloaked, and now they could move undetected. Aiden ordered the launch of high-speed drones, small, fast-moving fighters that could strike with incredible precision. These drones were equipped with advanced AI, designed to make decisions in real time and launch devastating counterattacks without waiting for orders. The drones sped through space, their cloaking devices keeping them hidden from the Empire's view. One by one, they swooped in and launched precision strikes at the Empire's weaker spots. Laser beams flashed as the drones cut through the enemy ships, hitting targets with deadly accuracy. It was the first real success Earth had seen in this battle, and Aiden's heart soared with hope. This unexpected counterattack was shaking the Empire's confidence. But even as they landed a few successful blows, Aiden knew they were far from winning. The Empire would respond, and their retaliation would be swift and merciless. Humanity had just bought themselves a moment of respite, but the war was far from over. Aiden watched as his drones returned, their engines humming with success. The team's efforts had paid off. Some of the Empire's ships were damaged, and Earth's forces had a brief moment of relief. But the victory came with a heavy price. Bonner's death still weighed heavily on Aiden. He could still hear his second-in-command's voice echoing in his mind: humanity's greatest strength is our will to survive. Every victory, every small win, reminded him of Bonner's sacrifice. Aiden's crew, too, felt the weight of the fight. They had won a small victory, but they knew that this was just a fleeting moment in a much larger battle. Their enemies were powerful, and they would not stop until Earth was destroyed. Aiden looked around at his crew. They were all exhausted, their faces lined with stress and fear, but there was something else too, a fierce determination. Humanity had always been resilient, and this battle was no different. They weren't going to give up. But that didn't make the responsibility any lighter. Aiden had to make the tough decisions. He had to lead these soldiers into battle, knowing that every move he made could mean life or death for his crew. The burden of leadership sat heavily on his shoulders. Every time a ship was destroyed, every time another ally was lost, Aiden felt the weight of his decisions. Is this enough? He thought. Are we enough? He couldn't afford to doubt himself, though. Not now. Humanity's survival was on the line. He turned to his communications officer. Prepare the next strike. We don't have time to waste. The officer nodded, and Aiden felt the familiar surge of determination pulse through him. Aiden wasn't alone in this. His crew was with him, and together they would fight until the very end. But the question remained, would it be enough? The moment of relief didn't last long. The Empire's response was swift. Just as Earth's forces celebrated their small victory, the sky above them grew dark, as though the stars themselves were being blotted out by a shadow. A massive ship, unlike anything Aiden had seen before, appeared in the distance. Its size was beyond comprehension, an enormous weapon that seemed to be the Empire's ultimate form of retaliation. This new weapon was a planetary laser, capable of wiping out entire cities with a single strike. It had been hidden in plain sight, waiting for the moment to be unleashed. Now, the Empire was ready to use it. The massive beam of light started to charge, its energy growing in intensity. The very fabric of space seemed to tremble under its power. Aiden's heart raced as the countdown began. It's targeting Earth, his communications officer shouted. The planet was about to be hit with the full force of the Empire's might. Aiden knew that if this laser fired, it would obliterate everything in its path. Millions, maybe billions, of lives could be lost in an instant. The stakes had just been raised. This wasn't just about survival anymore, this was a fight for the future of humanity itself. Earth's forces, despite their small victories, were facing the full weight of the Empire's devastating weapon. The countdown to destruction was ticking, and humanity had no time to waste. Aiden gritted his teeth. All ships, prepare for evasive maneuvers. We cannot let that laser fire. The crew sprang into action, knowing that their survival depended on every move they made. But the planetary laser was unlike anything they had faced before. It had the power to obliterate entire fleets with a single shot, and it was charging rapidly. There was no time to waste. Every second counted. Aiden's mind raced as the battlefield around him grew more chaotic. The cloaked ships had given them a brief advantage, but the Empire's technological superiority was too great. They couldn't escape the laser's reach forever. The laser charged, ready to strike. Earth's warships scrambled, trying to avoid its deadly path. We can't outrun it, Aiden thought desperately. We have to find a way to stop it. But how? Time was running out. The laser would fire soon, and if they didn't do something, humanity's last hope would be gone. This was humanity's final chance. Aiden knew it. His crew knew it. The fight had just escalated from a battle for survival to a fight for everything humanity had ever known. Could they win against a power so overwhelming? Would Earth's will to survive be enough to stop the Empire from destroying everything? The answer would come soon. The fate of humanity rested in the hands of Aiden and his crew. The battle had been going on for hours, and Earth's forces were pushed to the brink of annihilation. Aiden stood in the command center of Earth's flagship, staring at the holographic map in front of him. His mind was racing. They had hit the Empire hard, but it wasn't enough. The odds were still stacked against them, and the massive planetary laser was still looming over Earth, ready to strike at any moment. The thought of defeat gnawed at him, but then, something changed. A sudden and unexpected transmission came through, an old, encrypted signal, hidden deep within Earth's archives. Aiden's heart skipped a beat as he listened to the transmission. It was an ancient message, one that hadn't been decoded in centuries. It spoke of a hidden fleet, an AI-controlled armada that was buried beneath Earth's surface long before the modern warships had even been conceived. This fleet was humanity's final hope. The message explained that this fleet, built during Earth's golden age of exploration, was designed to be a last line of defense against any threat. It was hidden away in a series of underground bunkers, its existence long forgotten by the people of Earth. Aiden couldn't believe what he was hearing. Could this fleet, lost to history, really be the key to their survival? Aiden immediately ordered his best engineers and scientists to locate the bunkers. The search was frantic, each passing moment feeling like an eternity. The war against the Galactic Empire was in full swing above, and time was running out. But, as the hours passed, they found something. Deep beneath the surface, in a long-forgotten facility, they discovered it, the ancient AI fleet. The underground base was a massive complex, hidden beneath the Earth's crust. The AI warships, dormant for centuries, were powered up once again. As the machines booted up, the hum of ancient technology filled the air. These warships were unlike anything Earth had ever seen, sleek, powerful, and ready for war. Each ship was equipped with weapons that could rival the Empire's most advanced technology. They were the final weapon, and Earth's only hope for victory. As the fleet of AI warships emerged from the Earth's surface, Aiden watched in awe. The ships were sleek and agile, designed for both speed and firepower. They cut through the surface like a hot knife through butter, emerging from the planet's crust in a stunning display of raw power. The skies above Earth darkened as the ancient warships rose into space, their engines glowing with the bright light of newly restored energy. The AI warships moved with a precision that could only come from machines designed to fight. Their weapons were far more advanced than anything Earth had built, and their tactics were flawless. Aiden felt a surge of hope as he saw the ships join Earth's fleet. This was their chance. Earth's forces, now with the help of the ancient AI, would launch a coordinated strike against the Empire. The warships, both human and AI-controlled, moved as one, synchronized in their assault. The visual display was breathtaking. Massive explosions lit up the sky as Earth's fleet launched wave after wave of attacks. The sleek AI warships unleashed devastating beams of energy, cutting through the Empire's massive ships like a hot knife through butter. Every shot was precise, every strike calculated. It was a dance of destruction in the vastness of space, with Earth's forces fighting with renewed vigor. On the ground, Aiden and his crew watched in amazement as the ancient fleet tore through the enemy's defenses. The AI warships seemed unstoppable, their weapons cutting through the Empire's ships with ease. Earth's forces, bolstered by this new technology, fought with newfound confidence. It was as if the very past of humanity had risen to defend them. The stakes of the battle had just changed. The Empire, once so confident in their superiority, was now on the defensive. They couldn't understand what was happening. Where had this fleet come from? How could the humans possibly have such advanced technology? The answer was simple: Earth had been hiding its secret weapon for centuries, and now, it had come to light. For a while, it seemed as though Earth had found the key to victory. The Empire's ships were faltering, their once unbreakable defenses beginning to crack under the pressure of Earth's relentless assault. The AI warships were precise and devastating, tearing apart the Empire's fleet with ease. It was clear that the balance of power had shifted, and the Empire was beginning to panic. However, this victory came at a high cost. As Earth's forces pushed forward, several of their own warships were destroyed in the process. The AI warships, though powerful, were not invincible. They were vulnerable in certain areas, and the Empire's retaliatory strikes were hitting harder than expected. Aiden's heart sank as he watched Earth's ships explode in a flash of light. His crew was losing men and women with every passing moment. The human warships fought valiantly, but it was clear that the battle was taking its toll. Aiden's mind raced. They had the technology, they had the advantage, but they were still fighting an overwhelming force. Would this victory come at the cost of everything they had worked for? As Aiden watched the devastation unfold, he thought about the soldiers who had given their lives to get to this point. Bonner's sacrifice was still fresh in his mind. Every loss was a blow to the heart. The humans had fought with everything they had, but the price of war was steep. We can't afford to lose more, Aiden thought grimly. We need to end this now. The loss of Earth's warships was not just a blow to the fleet, it was a blow to the people. Every life lost felt like a personal loss to Aiden, and he knew that the road ahead would be even more difficult. The battle was far from over. But, even with the sacrifices, the mission remained the same. Survive. Defend Earth. As the battle raged on, Aiden knew that this was humanity's final stand. Earth had fought back with everything it had, but the Empire was still an unrelenting force. The war was far from over, and the final outcome was uncertain. But with the ancient AI fleet now in the fight, Earth had a chance, however slim. As the explosions continued to light up the skies and the warships clashed in the vacuum of space, Aiden's resolve hardened. We'll keep fighting. For every life lost. For humanity's future. This was no longer just a battle for survival, it was a fight for the very soul of Earth. The space above Earth had become a battlefield like no other. After hours of intense fighting, Aiden knew the final moment had arrived. His pulse raced as he stood in the command center of Earth's flagship, the AI-controlled warships by his side, ready to carry out the most daring assault of their existence. The Empire's flagship loomed in space before them, a massive, intimidating fortress that had caused so much death and destruction. Aiden had one goal: to destroy it. With a deep breath, Aiden gave the order. His voice was steady, but the weight of what was about to happen pressed down on him. All units, prepare for the final assault. Target the flagship. This ends now. His command was simple, but the consequences were enormous. The vast array of human and AI warships surged forward, their engines roaring as they closed in on the Empire's flagship. Aiden could feel the tension mounting with every passing second. The battle had already claimed so many lives, and now, with the stakes higher than ever, it was time to make their move. As Earth's fleet moved closer, the Empire's forces realized that the tide was turning against them. Their ships, once the most advanced in the galaxy, were now struggling. The Empire's commanders were scrambling to mount a defense, but they were too slow. In a desperate bid to preserve their superiority, the Empire unleashed their ultimate weapon, an army of AI-controlled super soldiers. These robotic soldiers were the perfect warriors, fast, relentless, and designed for one purpose only: to wipe out humanity. Aiden's eyes narrowed as he watched the Empire's super soldiers emerge from the flagship's belly, marching out with eerie precision. The robots were towering, heavily armored, and terrifyingly efficient. They moved in perfect formation, their weapons gleaming with deadly intent. Aiden's stomach twisted. This was the Empire's last desperate move to crush Earth's resistance. But he wasn't going to let them win. As the warships continued their assault on the flagship, Aiden knew the battle wasn't over yet. He had to lead his forces aboard the Empire's ship. If Earth was to survive, they had to disable the flagship from within. Aiden and his most trusted soldiers, along with AI-controlled drones, boarded the Empire's flagship, preparing for the brutal close-quarters combat that would follow. The metallic hulls of the massive ship were cold and silent, but the tension in the air was palpable. The sound of heavy boots echoing through the corridors signaled the arrival of the super soldiers. Aiden tightened his grip on his weapon, determined to see this through. As the first wave of super soldiers rounded the corner, Aiden didn't hesitate. He charged, firing rapidly at the oncoming enemy. His warship had successfully damaged the Empire's shields, allowing him to board the flagship. But the super soldiers were everywhere, filling the halls with their terrifying presence. The clash of metal, the hum of energy weapons, and the explosions echoing through the ship made it feel like a war zone. Aiden and his team fought fiercely, pushing forward step by step. Each encounter was intense. The AI soldiers were fast, efficient, and nearly unstoppable, but humanity had one thing they didn't: determination. Aiden fought his way through the corridors, leading his team with unwavering resolve. He knew that if they didn't succeed in reaching the heart of the flagship, Earth would be lost. Explosions erupted around them as Aiden and his team took cover, ducking behind walls and crates as the super soldiers advanced. The pace of the battle was frantic, with both sides locked in a deadly game of cat and mouse. Every step forward came at a price, but Earth's soldiers pressed on, knowing that their future depended on this final push. At one point, Aiden found himself face to face with a group of super soldiers. They were towering and relentless, but his determination was stronger. He shot with precision, his heart pounding as he brought the first of the robotic soldiers to the ground. However, more emerged, and the fight became even more desperate. Aiden's hand ached from the constant firing, his energy running low. But he couldn't stop now. He looked to his crew. They were exhausted, but they shared the same drive to win. Together, they fought with everything they had, pushing through the hallways, mowing down enemies, and advancing toward the Empire's control room. Every room they entered was filled with more resistance, but their resolve didn't waver. Earth was still alive, and as long as they fought, there was hope. Above, the space battle continued, with Earth's warships launching their final barrage of attacks against the Empire's defenses. The sky above Earth was filled with explosions, the flickering lights of energy weapons lighting up the void. But down inside the flagship, the real battle raged. The visual storytelling was breathtaking, with fast-paced, chaotic combat sequences playing out on both the ground and in space. The AI-controlled drones flew through the hallways with deadly precision, their lasers lighting up the dark corridors. Explosions echoed through the ship's massive chambers as Earth's forces struggled to break through. At one moment, Aiden and his team found themselves at the control center of the flagship. The room was filled with high-tech equipment, humming with energy, but it wasn't enough to keep the soldiers out. Aiden knew this was the heart of the Empire's command. If they could take control here, they could disable the flagship's weapons and cripple the Empire's last remaining hope. As the battle intensified, Aiden issued the command for Earth's warships to launch their final strike. The warships above Earth, supported by the AI fleet, launched a massive orbital bombardment. The energy weapons charged up, and in a single, unified strike, they hit the Empire's flagship in its most vulnerable points. The explosion was spectacular, sending shockwaves through space. A blinding light engulfed the area as the flagship began to break apart. The Empire's once proud ship, symbol of their dominance, was crumbling, piece by piece. The shockwaves from the blasts reverberated through the fleet, and Earth's soldiers cheered in victory, even as they fought for survival inside the flagship. But the victory didn't come without cost. Many of Earth's warships had already been destroyed, and their soldiers had sacrificed their lives for this moment. Aiden stood at the helm of the flagship's control center, his breath shallow, his heart heavy with the weight of the lives lost. The enemy was defeated, but the price had been high. With the Empire's flagship disabled, Aiden looked out through the shattered windows at the remnants of the battle. Earth had won, but it had also paid a heavy price. The war had taken everything from them, but humanity had endured. They had survived. As the remnants of the Galactic Empire's fleet drifted through space, Earth's soldiers stood victorious. The battle was over. Aiden, though weary and heartbroken by the sacrifices made, allowed himself a moment to reflect. Humanity had stood against the overwhelming force of the Empire and emerged victorious. The final clash had been a brutal test, but Earth had proven its strength, its resilience, and its will to survive. Looking out at the stars, Aiden couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. The fight was over, for now. But Earth would never forget the cost of their victory, and they would never forget that, in the end, it was humanity's determination and will to fight that had led them to this moment. The battle had been won, and the Empire had been defeated. But as Earth's soldiers stood tall in the aftermath, they knew the future was still uncertain. New challenges awaited, and humanity's journey was far from over. However, for now, they had a chance to rebuild, to heal, and to ensure that they would never face a threat like the Empire again. The stars above Earth shone brightly in the wake of the final battle. The once imposing flagship of the Galactic Empire, the massive symbol of their power, now lay in ruins, floating in space as debris. The Empire's forces had been shattered, their fleet in chaos, their leadership crumbling. Earth had survived. Aiden stood at the command center of Earth's flagship, his eyes fixed on the stars as the aftermath of the battle unfolded. The war, which had seemed so hopeless just days before, was now over. The Empire had been defeated. The dream of an empire that would subjugate the galaxy had come to a violent and sudden end, all because of humanity's refusal to give up. The enemy had underestimated Earth, and now, humanity had shown the galaxy the strength of its will. The forces of the Galactic Empire, once so sure of their victory, had been reduced to a disorganized, retreating mess. Earth's fleet, battered but still strong, hovered in the void, victorious. The battle was over, but the impact of the victory would be felt across the galaxy for years to come. The chaos of battle had cleared, and for the first time in what felt like forever, there was peace. But as much as humanity had won, the victory came with a heavy cost. Emotional resolution. Aiden walked through the halls of the flagship, his thoughts consumed by the aftermath of the war. The victory felt hollow as he passed the silent corridors, where the sounds of battle had once echoed. The once bustling crew now seemed subdued, their faces a mixture of exhaustion, relief, and sorrow. They had won, but at what cost? Aiden's mind kept returning to those who hadn't made it, his comrades, his friends. Bonner, his trusted second-in-command, had sacrificed himself in the final moments of the battle, making sure Aiden could lead the final charge. His death weighed heavily on Aiden's heart. Bonner's courage had made this victory possible, and yet, he was gone. Aiden stood before a memorial wall in the crew's quarters, a solemn place where the fallen soldiers' names were inscribed. Each name represented a life given for the survival of Earth, for the survival of humanity. There were so many names, too many to count. Each of them had a story, a family, a future they would never see. Aiden couldn't help but feel the weight of their loss. But even in the sorrow, there was hope. Humanity had won. The Empire, so sure that Earth was nothing more than a primitive, insignificant planet, had been proven wrong. Earth's people had united and fought back with everything they had. Their resilience, their determination, had seen them through against impossible odds. As Aiden looked out at the stars, he thought of the crew who had survived. The soldiers who had fought beside him, who had given everything, now stood together. There was a unity in their grief, a bond that had been forged through the fire of battle. Their loss would never be forgotten, but it would fuel their future. They had fought for something greater than themselves. And now, humanity had a chance to rebuild. The war was over, but it was just the beginning of humanity's journey. Earth had proven itself as a powerful force in the galaxy. No longer would they be seen as a weak, backward planet, easy to conquer and dismiss. The victory over the Galactic Empire had sent a shockwave through the galaxy. Aiden could sense it, across the stars, other alien races were watching. The defeat of the Empire had changed everything. The galaxy was no longer a place where the Empire reigned supreme, but a place where humanity had made its mark. The survivors of Earth's fleet stood tall, not just as victors, but as symbols of what humanity could achieve when it was pushed to the limit. The Empire's retreat was just the first step. Other races, once doubtful of humanity's strength, now had to face the reality that Earth was a power to be reckoned with. The balance of power in the galaxy had shifted. The Empire's defeat had left a vacuum, and many wondered if humanity would rise to fill that gap, or if other, more dangerous forces would take their place. For the first time in history, humans stood on equal footing with the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. No longer would they be dismissed as insignificant. They had fought, they had won, and they had earned the respect of the stars. As the survivors of Earth's fleet gathered together to celebrate their hard-won victory, Aiden couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. There was still so much to rebuild, so many challenges ahead. The war had taken a toll on Earth, its people, and its resources. But Aiden was determined to see humanity through. He knew that the galaxy was a vast and dangerous place, full of unknown threats. But for the first time, Earth had allies in the stars. Other races, watching from afar, now recognized Earth's strength. It would take time, but humanity had the chance to shape the future on its own terms. Aiden gathered with the remaining crew on the bridge of the flagship. The stars above them seemed brighter than ever, but the darkness of space still loomed. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. The war had been won, but now came the real challenge: rebuilding, establishing alliances, and ensuring that Earth remained a powerful force in the galaxy. As Aiden stood among his comrades, he felt a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity had proven its worth. They had shown the galaxy what they were capable of. Now, they had to prove that this victory was not a fluke, but the beginning of a new era. The war had been devastating, but it had brought humanity together in a way nothing else could. Aiden looked out at the stars once more, filled with hope for what the future could hold. Earth had survived, but more than that, humanity had grown. They had risen from being the underdogs to becoming a powerful force in the galaxy. The future was uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, Aiden believed in it. Humanity's journey had just begun. The stars no longer seemed so distant or unreachable. Earth was no longer a joke. It was a galactic power to be respected, and it was just getting started. The survivors of the war stood together, gazing out into the vast expanse of space. They had lost so much, but they had gained something more: hope. And in the stars above them, humanity would find its place.